When someone says, I thought you would be Latinx based on your name, what part of that is offensive? My name is Scandinavian. I have dark eyes and hair, and people often expect a blonde. I am thinking there is implied racism with your situation.
So, when people say they expected to see a Latina, or it would be the same as them expecting it's the same thing for you. When they say, oh, I expected because of your name that you're going to have blonde hair, your name doesn't define you as a person. So for them to come up with this passive way to say that they think that that's what they were looking at, or what their expectations were, it still is ignorance in its best, because you coming up, and whether you have blonde hair, black hair, blue eyes, brown eyes, that doesn't matter. They shouldn't identify you based off of your name or what they suspect you to be.
Yeah, and the other part of it is you have to understand that that's not a thought in isolation, right? That's not a thought in isolation. She's not just thinking, oh, people with these last names must be from here, and that's the end of it. There is likely a whole host of thoughts, interconnected thoughts that she has that are based on these ideas of making assumptions about people's identities. And so it's basically her belying that she's categorizing people that way into boxes, and then making assumptions about people within those boxes.
Exactly.
So, and it also, the fact that she expressed it directly to Heather, it shows that she is unaware that that's problematic as well. So there's a lot you can get from just a small, short experience. You can learn where people are at. And I think that's part of the reason Heather was saying earlier that she realized there was an opportunity for, levity that made room for education in this situation, right? Hope says, but it doesn't bother me. So is it offensive because she was making a negative judgment about you based on your name?
I guess when you've had that many interactions, sometimes it can make you defensive, which you kind of are just like, whoa, she expected for a Latina to be standing in front of her, and she was just completely, surprised that I was white. It's like the same when people say, every Hispanic they see is a Mexican. It's just you being categorized into that category, which sometimes you're like, I mean, man, I've made comments before. It's my flipping husband and his last name that causes me so many problems. But it's one of those things where they just kind of put you in after you've dealt with it so many times, both in a positive and negative way. It's very easy to just be like, why do you classify me that way because of my name? And then you're very open to say, oh my God, I expected you to be a Mexican, or it's just, I mean, it's an opportunity to teach to it.
Yeah, I mean, at the least, it's rude, right?
Yeah, rude.
I'm standing right in front of you, I'm not a Mexican,
Yeah.
Even if you're thinking about that in your head, maybe not say it out loud directly, it's just cool to explain that you don't think that, I don't know, interracial marriage is a thing, you know?
And there are a lot of people that don't do interracial marriage, especially my older clientele. And I can tell you, this client, I love her to death. I love her to pieces. She calls me every once in a while and she's like, let's pray. I'm like, okay. I love her to pieces, but the initial interaction was very whoa. She got to know me and she apologized, and I showed her a picture of my kids, and she just was like, back when I was younger, that would have never happened. They had their place. Latinos had their place. African Americans had their place. White people have their place. It's just white privilege at its finest.
Interesting.
Thanks for watching. For access to the full-length conversation and all of the 2-hour-long unedited conversations that I've had on race, click the support link in the description below. Thanks for your support, and see you next time.